You've been through a lot of trauma.
मेरा पास बहुत हेवी है. My parents split up when I was 10 years old. कि लोग चाहते थे मैं फेल हो जाऊं. आपके पास माँ बाप है और आप ये कर रहे हो, तो आप घर जाके अपनी माँ के गोद में सर रख के सो सकते हो. मैं वो कभी नहीं कर सकता. मेरे पास वो ऐसी चीज नहीं जो आपके पास है और कभी नहीं हो सकती. मैं जितनी मेहनत कर लूं, मैं जितनी प्रार्थना कर लूं, वो कभी नहीं होगी मेरे पास.
What affected you the most at that time?
I find it difficult now to cry.
क्यों?
You have to be the strong boy in the family. मैं सबसे ज्यादा vulnerable अपने बहनों के साथ. मैं जब जानवी खुशी से जुड़ा, अब तो कुछ बचा ही नहीं था. मतलब we had experienced something, me and Anshula, और फिर जानवी खुशी were going through something that we wouldn't wish for our worst enemies. तो I think हमारी शुरुआत ही vulnerability से हुई. I feel the most myself with them.
What you're doing today, do you think your mother will be proud of you?
Yes.
Yes? How are you in a relationship as a person?
I have a fear of loss. मुझे हमेशा लगता है कि मेरी माँ मुझे छोड़ के चली गई. My father made a choice. So there's a fear of loss that exists. So there's almost a feeling of eventually.
सब चले जाएंगे.
But I've been a pretty decent boyfriend. Understanding my emotional quotient is pretty high because of what all I've experienced in life. My father and mother supported me to whatever extent they could, but financially I became independent the day I started working.
Really?
Yeah. I've never taken anything from my father.
कहाँ पे? Where were you born? How was it? And like, how were you as a kid? All of that.
I feel like I'm in therapy and I have to unlock my memories.
Yes. This is therapy. So Vidya Balan came on podcast and she said after the end of the podcast, she's like, this is like I was talking to my healer and this is like a therapy session. I don't know what you have done. So
therapy,
be prepared.
हाँ, तो therapy में ये सब बातें मैं कर चुका हूँ.
बस फिर बताओ therapy की अच्छी बात, highlight.
See, unlocking your core memories also is very tough when you've been through trauma, you know. So कई बार होता है.
You've been through trauma?
हाँ?
You've been through a lot of trauma?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at my life, if you just scan through it, there's been enough of trauma in terms of I've lost my mother when I was 25, just before the release of Ishaq Zadeh. So that's a pretty traumatic time, just on the cusp of starting a profession where I didn't know what my future was. I lost my backbone.
And I'm talking about like way earlier.
No, in my childhood, yeah, my parents split up when I was 10 years old. And that's something at that point in time, didn't feel that it would shape me and change the course of my life entirely because I was dealing with it in real time. But today, when I look back, there's a lot of things that, like for example, my father was busy making 2 big films when that was happening. He was making Prem and Roop Ki Rani Chorak Raja. He was under a lot of pressure to complete those films and release them. So we never had a normal father-son relationship where he came to school to pick me up or drop me. He never. I mean, he tried. It's not. See, listen. Nobody wants to do this, but he was doing a lot. So I never had that, and then the split happened also. So then time became even lesser. So that is slightly traumatic when you look back in retrospect. Now I have an equation with him where I spend more time with him. But I'm 39. I mean, over the last 5 years, I've spent more time with him. Again, in traumatic circumstances, our bridging of our relationship happened. So bachpan mein yaar, see, I always say,